right, hey now, it's the Rob from 1061.
Rob, wait.
What?
This is post to post. We got to do something big, something out there.
What were you thinking?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Town Square Media and 1061 KISS FM proudly bring to you your podcast champions of the world. He's the R to the O to the B. I'm STEVE. We are your hosts with the most, bringing you everything wrestling related from post to post.
Hey, now it's the Rob from 1061 KISS FM, reuniting with my tag team partner in podcasting.
Hey guys, it's me, Steve, web contributor 1061 evansville.com.
All right, so if you're a regular viewer of the Post to Post and you watched last week's episode, I did promise you we would be talking about the Shane McMahon Undertaker storyline. And we're going to use that as kind of a vehicle to get into this week's topic episode. Our topic this week is going to be really bad angles.
All right.
And I think there's no way around this. When you look at this from beginning to end, and it came on so strong with everyone so happy to see Shane McMahon back, the confusion between his feud with Vince McMahon, the insertion of The Undertaker, and then ultimately leading to Shane getting control of Raw despite losing to The Undertaker, this is one of the messiest angles I can remember.
Yep.
And just, I know that I've kind of made it my gimmick, but I'm just personally insulted as a fan by how stupid they take us for.
Yeah, as somebody that was on board for it for well longer than I should have been, I'm right where Rob is at. I just like poking fun at Rob when Shane McMahon shows up.
So this got me thinking, is this the worst written wrestling storyline ever? And I was thinking, man, there are some bad ones.
There are some bad ones.
And I jotted down a whole bunch, and I told you the topic earlier today, so have you had time to come up with some?
I've got a few here. I'm sure we probably may have crossed paths. But yeah, I've gotten 5 written down.
Okay, well, I've got a bunch. I'll throw one at you. I feel like the first one that comes to mind, wrestling fans like us who've been watching for a long time, the first name that comes to mind is actually the name Katie Vick.
Oh my goodness.
Did you write that one down?
I didn't write it down because it was so obvious.
Yeah, I feel like that's like almost the right answer.
Yeah.
You know, but I think there's still worse. In fact, if you're going from a writing point of view, I really feel like this Shane McMahon, Undertaker, Vince thing is even worse. I would call that just a stupid, like it was a Triple H feud with Kane that kind of just wanted something to keep it going, and it was a really desperate attempt at an angle that involved, if you don't remember, I'm sure everyone watching remembers, but Triple H making love to essentially a corpse, a facsimile of a corpse, as Kane, and don't drink and drive, kids. You know, what else can we say about that angle?
Right.
Yeah, you know, well, the insinuation was that Kane had killed this fictional Katie Vick after a drunk driving accident.
Yeah.
And it was just poorly received and poorly written from top to bottom.
It was original, but at least it had all of the plot holes covered, unlike the Shane McMahon.
Yeah, we never thought, why is this happening?
Yeah.
You know, it never was confusing. It just was WTF.
Yeah.
Why don't you throw one at me, Steve?
Kind of along that lines, I don't really care whenever they draw the family in unnecessarily, and 2 examples I have are the Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero custody battle.
I call it Dominic Guerrero.
Yeah, and Al Wilson.
Okay, Al Wilson is one that I thought of. That was wrestling in 2002, 2003, or whenever that was. Like, seeing him with Tori, like they loved to shock us. That was really stupid. Yeah. I agree. The Dominic one, though, where like custody of a child was on the line in a ladder match. Like, how much are we supposed to suspend as far as disbelief goes?
Yeah.
That your child custody is on the line in a ladder match. I've watched an awful lot of Teen Mom in my life, literally every episode. Have seen custody of poor children exchange hands numerous times. Never once was it dangling from the ceiling of a courthouse in a ladder match.
And they actually legitimately had a child out there. I want to know what conversation went on backstage. Now we're going to pretend like you're this guy's son, but not really, because you're still my son and I love you.
All right, Dominic, you know how Uncle Eddie's our friend and, you know, he comes over for dinner sometimes, and we're going to pretend like he's actually your daddy and not me. Like, just come on.
Yeah.
It was really, really silly. Speaking of kids and bringing the family in, how about when we, as a wrestling audience, were trying to determine who Vince McMahon's son was?
Okay.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And I love how it was like, they would dribble out information like a Scooby-Doo episode or something. Like, he is somebody on the roster.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, the way they did this was so unbelievable. And do you remember who it wound up being?
Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle. Get it?
I can
Hornswoggle.
only hope that wasn't their original idea and they maybe kind of just threw that in the can.
My understanding was it wasn't, and the idea I heard was Ken Kennedy maybe being the son, and then he had a poorly timed suspension due to, I want to say it was the juice or some sort. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a, the wellness violation, you know? So, and actually there was a big one this week that maybe we'll talk about in our next episode, because 2 wrestlers got suspended this week for their wellness violation. Connor from the Ascension and Adam Rose, but we'll talk about that later. That was just a stupid angle with a stupid ending that never went anywhere. I mean, we did get a conclusion, but it was, get it, little Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Boy, was Vince's face red.
Talking about children, what about when Mae Young gave birth to a hand?
What a stupid thing. Why did this happen?
I don't know.
Was it really just to get to the punchline, give her a hand? Was that the punchline, give her a hand? And was this supposed to get Mark Henry over? Like, what was the point of this? So stupid. It was so stupid. So there was that. Gonna continue with Vince McMahon, who's been a part of some really stupid storylines. Remember when he died?
Yes.
When his car got blown up.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And then, of course, something happened the next week. Either somebody died, I think it was Chris Benoit, and he's on screen the next week doing something serious, or it was, you know, it's like, why? You know Vince isn't staying off TV forever. Why are you killing him?
I think he's died twice now. Didn't he die in a
Has he?
stage collapse? During the McMahon $1 million thing?
I don't think he died during that. Maybe he did.
I remember him being in the podium and like something collapsed on him.
That did happen, but I don't think that killed him.
Maybe he didn't die from that. Vince is the strongest person I've ever met.
I'm talking about when he blew up, his car blew up,
limo,
was the one that was the angle. But I mean, he wasn't off TV for but a few weeks, at tops. Tops. What do you got? This is, I mean, it's making my head hurt.
Oh my goodness. We can't let WCW off the hook. What about David Arquette as world champion?
That was a really bad idea. I get what they were going for. This is Russo at his, I was going to say best, but this is Russo at his worst.
Yeah.
If we make a Hollywood star our world champion, everyone will be talking about it. Extra, Entertainment Tonight, water coolers around the world, everyone will be talking about we don't talk about David Arquette.
Yeah.
Real people, he's just a guy who's in some movies.
Yeah.
This was a really, really bad idea. I agree. That was stupid. But WCW, I'm going to continue to indict them. They did some really, really dumb things. Like, I mean, I don't know if this is bad writing or where you'd call this, but like, you know, putting Viagra on a pole, putting Judy Bigelow on a pole. Some of their writing towards the turn of the millennium when Russo got involved was horrendous. And also, let's not forget, like, in like the early 90s, like the Beach Blast stuff, when you've got Davey Boy Smith and Sting and boats exploding, and you've got the White Castle of Fear with Vader. I mean, like some really stupid writing. Like they're trying to go Hollywood for a minute, and it was just stupid, right?
With WCW, I mean, it's almost like they were always going in 5 different directions. I mean, it's like 4 different cooks trying to cook one meal.
Yeah, well, that's what they had. You know, and none of them really were master chefs.
Screen, so.
You know, what do you got?
Let's talk about when WCW joined WWE and the invasion angle. I've never understood how a company doesn't have a home base can invade another company. So, I mean, the invasion can't go both ways. We're just coming to your house.
The best way I can describe the invasion was a really missed opportunity.
Yes.
They had an opportunity to make something really special, and not just like a one-shot, one-year thing.
Yeah.
Like something that could have really thrived and been a profitable thing that they just really blew their wad on really quickly.
Yeah, if you want brand extension, you have WWE and WCW, not Raw and SmackDown.
Absolutely right. That's absolutely right. That's how you do it. Remember GTV?
Yeah.
GTV had the potential to be something really cool, and there's been a ton of rumors as to what that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it was just stupid because it was just abandoned,
Yeah.
just totally abandoned at some point, an aborted angle completely, and that gets frustrating.
It does.
Also, remember a man named Naked Midian? You may forget him because he only made like one appearance, maybe two, but I think just one.
I think he maybe has shown up twice.
But that, I mean, like, there was something there, like especially in the Attitude Era, having this character do something along those lines was kind of interesting to me. Why they just aborted it, I don't understand. Do you have any more?
I've got one more. The Raw Anonymous General Manager.
Made my list as well.
All right.
The Raw Anonymous General Manager, I get what they were going for, but just, again, really poorly written.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck are they thinking? Like, how dumb do they think we are? That we think that some mysterious face can be running the show and no one in the building knows about it.
Yeah.
That Michael Cole can't check the return address on the email. Like, well, come on. This is just stupid. I agree.
I believe Michael Cole can't check a return address on an email.
That part is believable, I suppose. Here, I'll give you just a whole bunch of ones that I wrote down. Some of the stuff that's happened with Kane, unmasking, masking again, being corporate Kane, having feelings, not having feelings, having a voice box. Character inconsistencies drive me crazy.
Having a baby.
Having a baby that got punted by Gene Snitsky. You know, I mean, like, let's be real, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Speaking of character inconsistencies, a lot of people disagree with me here, but I do think it's stupid. Undertaker is a dead man.
Okay.
And then he rides a bike.
Okay.
And now he's dead again. I don't like that. I wish that the biker Undertaker phase would have never ever happened.
Okay. I enjoyed it was a change for him, I think, to stay relevant, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just didn't like it didn't result like I just didn't like that it happened. I hate that they can just assume that they'll forget all about it and he'll be dead again. That kind of stuff bothers me. I think that the character Stardust is poorly written.
Yeah.
There was no reason for him to change. If they could have given me some sort of explanation as to why he no longer is Cody Rhodes and is now Stardust,
yeah, I mean,
I'm cool
at
with
least
it.
I understand him changing because their tag team was faltering, but that dramatic of a change, yeah, we need some kind of a bridge to get there.
Remember on SmackDown around 2007-ish or 2006-ish, you had Jillian Hall and her mole.
Oh, yeah.
That the boogeyman ate.
Yes. Mm.
And then her skin looked perfectly fine after eating the mole. And am I mistaking it with the Charlie Sheen movie? But did the mole change spots? Was the mole mobile?
I've tried to forget about the mole, but
okay.
it may have been mobile.
Yeah. So yeah, Jillian Hall's mole. Remember Moppy?
Unfortunately.
Moppy was a character that was a mop that Perry Saturn would talk to.
Yeah.
This is around the time that you had Sean Stasiak running into things.
Yeah.
And I'll give you one last one that we kind of talked about in our last topic episode, in our Remember One episode. But remember the writing when you had Shawn Michaels teaming with God?
Yes.
Come on now. How dumb do you think we are? So there you go. This was our really bad angles. This was fun. We had some good stuff, I think, come up. So if I could toot my own horn for a second, and Steve's too. Toot.
Yeah.
What are some other great angles? By great, I mean
please.
terrible. Please leave us comments. We'll mention some in a future topic episode. If it's really bad writing when it comes to the world of wrestling. That's going to do it for this week. For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner, Steve.
You're welcome.